Welcome to Destination Deanna. I'm Deanna, love guide to all and kept wife strategist to the women I'm called to serve. Please consider my channel your self-help learning library for love. Join me every Monday at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time for our weekly coaching gem, where I give guidance to elevate your love experience. And on Wednesdays at 1 p.m., tune in for Sounds About Wife, where I give my unique wife perspective and prepare professional women like you to become kept wives. So hit that subscribe button and let's start this love journey together. See you soon, my loves. Welcome back. Welcome back. Hey, Kepties. Welcome to episode 15 of Sounds About Wife. I'm Deanna, the kept wife strategist, also, as my ladies call me, the Keptie coach. I help women avoid marrying wrong and equip them to marry well and become kept. Sounds About Wife is a weekly show that specifically shares the wife perspective. So today I'm going to be highlighting your key shifts in mindset and aligned behavior to become kept. So today's episode, self-respect versus ego. What men value in a wife. Ooh, this is a good one. Who's here already? Hey, Shaka, I'm so glad you made it. This is the perfect lesson. I put out, the alert. I said, hey, I need all my keepers and all my supporters here. So thank you for showing up. So I'm going to get started with obviously like my treasure. I like to always give you a personal share that's related to the topic. Sometimes it's my exact story. Sometimes it's a client story. And today I actually, I can't even look at my notes for this. Like, listen, okay. I thought I had self-respect on lock, right? But I was actually confusing it with ego. And that's what made me say, I need to share this and I need to make sure that no other Kepties are doing this. I wanted my voice to be heard, and can't lie, sometimes I just wanted my point to be proven, even at the expense of peace in my previous relationships. So over time, I actually learned that true self-respect isn't about always being right. It's about carrying yourself in a way that aligns with your values and it honors the partnership that you're building, right? And this is especially true for me now with my keeper. So this lesson is important because ego creates walls, while self-respect builds trust and connection. Let's be clear. No keeper is drawn to a woman who lets her ego do the talking. So let's get into today's treasure, which is the core lesson and why it matters, like why you should even care. Hey, Dana, here from TikTok. Okay. Thank you for joining. So you'll get a little bit of a preview of my teaching style. So yeah, today's lesson, right? Today's treasure. And I have 4 points today. So if you're taking notes, now would be the time to get out your pen and paper, get your journals out. I have 4 notes, 4 points that I'm going to review with you today. So number 1, self-respect is rooted in your identity, right? Self-respect actually comes from knowing who you are in God and operating in alignment with your values. It's a quiet confidence that speaks volumes. And this is coming from me, former rapper, very loud, very boisterous, very opinionated, not always feminine. If I can do it, anybody can do it. And I always like to give you a scripture for reference, right? Let's go to Proverbs 31, verse 25. She is clothed with strength and dignity. She can laugh at the days to come. So strength and dignity are hallmarks of self-respect, not ego, right? And statistically, a study by Psychology Today found that 79% of men value emotional maturity in a partner. And that includes self-respect and the ability to maintain peace. So it's clearly important. Hey, checking in from Facebook. Okay. Yes. Shout out Shock Value for anybody that's from that community. That's what's up. I appreciate you all being here. Number 2, ego. Ooh, I'm so sorry about my typo. Let me fix that. Sis was moving quickly. Hold on. Get a clear recording now. Ego creates conflict, while self-respect creates harmony. And as feminine women, harmony is important. It's like the evidence of your feminine presence in a home when there's harmony, right? So ego pushes you to prove your point at all costs, often at the expense of your relationship, where self-respect is actually going to allow you to choose peace without compromising your boundaries. And it's so funny the way things happen, right? I commented on a particular topic on Instagram, and I was encouraging women to give more appreciation to the men in their lives when they show up. It doesn't matter how small, right? And the women went crazy. You could tell a lot of them are hurt, dealing with trauma, because all of their responses are like, I'm not thanking somebody for something they should do. First of all, should do, that's subjective, right? And honestly, anything a person does for you is a gift. It's a choice, right? They don't have to do anything. So I think we need to check the ego, right? Check the ego. And what's a scripture for this? Proverbs 15:1. A gentle answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. So responding with self-respect rather than ego keeps your connection intact. You know this to be true. How many times have you been in a disagreement with someone and your ego has gotten the best of you, so your response is sharp? It's like to hit them where it hurts. That doesn't diffuse anything. That actually just keeps it going and actually makes things worse. And a study from the Gottman Institute actually said that couples who practice de-escalation techniques, such as speaking respectfully during disagreements, are 31% more likely to have long-lasting marriages. Listen, if we're talking about building long-lasting, happy, fruitful marriages, we're going to have disagreements. We're going to have differences. So you need to be equipped to handle these things, and you need to keep your self-respect intact and not allow ego to run your communication. Oh, look at this. My Keptie executive assistant is here. Oh, goodness. Come on. Shaka, ego equals scorched earth protocol. It's definitely not a compliment. I don't listen. And there's my keeper. Hi, honey. So glad you made it. Thank you for the sacrifice. Let me get on to number 3. And I have some fellas here who can confirm this. Men value respect above all. Especially for keepers, respect isn't optional. It's essential. Respect actually affirms his leadership and deepens the level of trust, while ego can make him feel undermined or devalued. And neither of those are what we want him to feel, right? We're talking about our keepers. These are men that cherish us. They protect us. They provide for us. They lead from their own experiences and knowledge. They sacrifice for us. So we absolutely owe them respect, right? We owe it to them. A scripture for this, Ephesians 5:33. However, let each one of you love his wife as himself, and let the wife see that she respects her husband. So respect is part of the foundation for a strong marriage. That's how important it is. Ego also equals competition. Yeah, and feminine women, we're not competitive, right? We are self-aware, we're self-assured. The only one we compete with is ourselves, becoming better than we were before. We're not looking for outside competition, and we're definitely not looking to compete with our keeper, our man. We know that there's value in our own space, our own femininity, and their value in their masculinity and their role is theirs. We serve two completely different purposes, but we complement each other well. We complement, we don't compete. And I posted this statistic today, and it got a lot of engagement already. According to a survey by the National Marriage Project, 75% of men said feeling respected was more important than feeling loved. Respect equals love to men. And women, it would behoove you to understand this, so that if you want your man to feel loved, you know that respecting him does that. Now, number 4. Self-respect is a part of feminine currency. Now, I know that I've taught you about respect for the man and that being a part of feminine currency. But when you carry yourself with self-respect, you actually increase your feminine currency, which increases your value, right? Keepers are drawn to women who value themselves enough to uphold their dignity while creating a peaceful, supportive, cooperative, collaborative environment. And what's our scripture for this? 1 Peter 3:4. Rather, it should be that of your inner self, the unfading beauty of a gentle and quiet spirit, which is of great worth in God's sight. Self-respect amplifies your inner beauty, which is timeless. Our outer beauty, it's great. Yes, it attracts. Yes, it's to be appreciated, but it also fades. You want to make sure that your inner beauty is what's focused so that it comes out no matter what. And research shows that couples with mutual respect report 45% higher levels of intimacy and partnership satisfaction. Partners who respect each other, they're not the couples complaining about not having sex. Let me just say that. So those marriages where people are saying they're sexless, I guarantee you respect is missing there. Respect and consideration goes a long way. So let me see the comments. RESPECT, high on the list as a need, want, and desire. Yeah, that's why, I mean, before I look to gift my husband something, I check my level of respect for him. I check how I talk to him, how I respond. I frequently do a self-assessment on my respect level, and I ask my husband for feedback. Okay, let me finish. Come on now. Get it in. I'm here. So listen, what is our Keptie lens, right? This is our mindset and our perspective shift, right? So here in the Keptiverse, self-respect is seen as a quiet strength, while ego is loud and reactive. A Keptie operates with grace, understanding, and respect, both for herself and for her keeper. That's what sustains a thriving partnership. We're not here to dominate or prove a point. We're here to cultivate harmony and alignment in our marriages. Ego has no place in a Keptie marriage, but self-respect is the foundation for peace and partnership. So that's the lens that as a Keptie we see through. Okay. Now let me give you the strategy. And I know that especially now, I have attracted a lot more already marrieds, right? My already marrieds checking in. I love that you're here. And I love that you want to strengthen the foundation that your marriage is built on, and you want to experience more captivity. I'm here, right? So let's get to the practical tips for you to put this lesson to work in your life immediately. Here is the strategy, because I'm the Kept Wife strategist for the already marrieds. Check your responses. Number one, check your responses. When conflict arises, pause and ask yourself, am I speaking from self-respect or ego? Choose words that build connection, not walls. That's number one. Number two, affirm your keeper. Show respect daily through your words and actions. A simple thank you or acknowledgement of his leadership goes a long way. And cheat code, you can never appreciate too much. You can never acknowledge too much. Number three, stay grounded in God. Seriously, pray for guidance to lead yourself with self-respect and humility, especially in the moments of disagreement. So that's for my already marrieds. Now, for those who are preparing, right? Those who are preparing, here's your strategy. Number one, practice respect in your current relationships. Use your friendships, family interactions, job, career, business associates as opportunities to speak with self-respect and avoid ego-driven responses. This can also be done on social media. Number two, define your values. Write down what self-respect looks like for you and how you plan to maintain it in your future marriage. And number three, pray for clarity. Ask God to help discern between self-respect and ego so you can attract a keeper who values your authenticity. All right. So that is the strategy. Now, I do have what I like to call Keptie consideration. I have this for my already marrieds, and I have this for those who are preparing. But I share that with my subscribers, right? My subbies on Facebook. So I'll be posting that as soon as I get off of the live. If you want access to the journal prompts and what you should be considering for self-reflection, go on over to Facebook /Destination Deanna and hit the subscribe button. It's a mere cost of 99 cents a month just to, plant your seed, right? Sow into fertile ground, right? And that's where you can get the Keptie consideration. So in closing, right, for the ladies who this lesson resonated with you, you're like, you know what? I need to focus on this. This is an area of opportunity for me. I invite you to build upon this lesson by finding your feminine. Literally, you focusing on your femininity is what will enable you to show up more harmoniously. It'll make it so much easier for you to desire peace and also be a bringer of the peace. So I welcome you to visit destinationdeanna.com. Click on the banner at the top to take advantage of the special offer that I have going from now until February 15th. So you have to act fast. Purchase the Find Your Feminine course. It is 6 full lessons all around femininity. I'm going to break down where you lost it, right? Where you're losing your femininity so that you can identify where you need to work. Then I walk you through how to define femininity for yourself. No, it is not just wearing pink, wearing the ruffles and the flowers and all of the things. That can be a part of it, but really we talk more about the essence of femininity, right? That is going to start inward and come outward, and how you can define it for yourself so it's authentic and it can become your default. Then I walk you through how it's going to show up in your relationships. I also walk you through how to remain feminine despite circumstances. So if your keeper's not there, if you're going through financial difficulties, whatever your circumstance is, you can still remain feminine, and I teach you how. Those are just 3 of the lessons, but I have 6, and it comes with an accompanying workbook that helps you with journal prompts so you can really, really make sure that you get everything from the lessons. Go ahead, invest in yourself. And the special that I have going is once you complete the Find Your Feminine course at your own pace, obviously, you get a complimentary call with me where we will discuss the course and talk about your next course of action so you can have a strategy to take what you've learned and really put it into practice in your life and get the full benefit. Listen, I don't know if you know, but a call with me is a minimum of $300. So the fact that I am tossing that in there complimentary, please take advantage. This is really how you're going to move the needle forward on your journey, right? So in closing, and I see there's comments, so let me go ahead and take a look at the comments. Oh, hold on. I see I missed a question. Okay. What if he is not viewing the respect as such? Okay. You might not like my answer. Brace yourself. His opinion matters, right? And if he doesn't view it as respect, you need to learn what he does view. Personally, I had to ask my husband, and my husband has had to correct me. He has had to tell me, honey, that's not respectful. When you do this, I see it as disrespect. And I can't argue with him about that because I'm respecting him. So his view of respect is what matters. Now, I'm not saying it won't take some work. And I'm not saying that you might not need him to educate you more about that and tell you where it comes from, why it feels like that, and maybe share your kind of aspect of how you're viewing that. But at the end of the day, you're respecting him. So if he doesn't view it as respect, that's what matters. So that's my answer on that. I hope that helps. Really, I do. Hey, Keptie Alice. Come on, Alice, tell them. Tell them. Actually, Alice has told y'all plenty of times. She gave me a review and everything. So if you go on, it's actually on my page for Find Your Feminine, but it's also on my YouTube channel as well. Her review, and she talks about how it's an integral piece of her journey, how it's helped her. So thank you, Alice. I appreciate that. Okay, I'm glad that helped. Listen, it's a tough lesson to learn. It really is. And it's a lesson that you have to keep refining. Okay. But it gets better with time. It gets better with time and your intentional effort to be better in that area. Okay. So in closing, right? Self-respect builds bridges. Ego builds walls. And in the Keptiverse, a Keptie knows her worth, values her keeper, and chooses connection over control every time, every single time. So remember, kept wives are prepared women, and prepared women have strategy. Now, if you want the winning strategy, you come to the Kept Wife Strategist. So I love you all. See you next Wednesday for the next episode of Sounds About Wife.